hear these teachings because when I went to Chicago, I didn't know what to expect. But when I got there, I was among brothers and sisters, my fellow Asiatics that honored me and welcomed me. They didn't honor me, but they welcomed me
Islam, Sheikh, Islam.
to be amongst them. And then when we came to the point of being unified, oh, that was a beautiful experience.
Islam.
Because people that I know were from Chicago, from Detroit, from from New York, from D.C., and they were from all over. And when we went to the grave site of Noble Drew Ali, that was phenomenal because I could feel the presence
Yes, Islam.
of Noble Drew Ali there
That's right,
amongst us.
That's right, Mo.
And that was a beautiful experience. I have never had an experience like that before in my life.
That's right.
And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to go and be amongst the Moors and all those Asiatics that were here and are still here.
No.
And they're working, trying to bring this under one head like the Prophet left it.
That's right, Mo.
And it was such a beautiful experience, that I think about it often, and I think about my sisters and my brothers, and and I recall being and feeling a warmth that I've never felt before, and I'm truly honored that I was able to make that trip. I'm honored that I was able to be amongst the Moors, and that picture that was showed on of all the Moors that was beautiful, because I had been under the guise that there's just a handful, but there was quite a few, and those were just the ones that came to the unification, because a lot of Moors didn't show up because they were still there back at their home running the temple.
Right.
And so, I'm just really grateful that I was there. I'm grateful that I was able to go to the record of deeds and look up all of that information that we looked up. As far as the Prophet's death certificate, as far as the records of when he brought us into and made it available for us, because he brought us, the Quran of Muhammad of Mecca, and it's on file
Islam.
when he had the records changed, and I'm really grateful that I was able to see that, and I'm not going on what somebody told me, what I was told.
Islam.
But anyway, that's enough out of me for now. So I pray that you all will take the opportunity to come down and see us sometimes, and just listen. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but you can just listen. And then with that, I'll say peace.
Praise Allah. I want to give honor to Brother Navi my brother. And I'd like to give honor to Brother Navi because the Mo been here with me every step of the way. You haven't wavered. You always been firm and fortified. And he haven't gave me too many headaches either. Because he's into his lessons. And let me explain what I mean by that. We're talking about chapter 13. We're talking about chapter 13. This is a chamber lesson that we have. We call it that, a lot of us, because this is where Jesus had to answer all questions with power and authority. But Jesus said that in every way of life, but he said every hall of learning I was sick. So what is he saying? Mm-hmm. He said, whatever tests I have to pass, let me pass these tests. Now I want to explain something because it's very important. When we left Chicago, I got my gloves on now. I have my white gloves on because when we left Chicago and got to the airport, when they got to the airport, I had some gunpowder on my tongue because I had gunpowder on my tongue because I was teaching the gospel all that time in Chicago. But when we got to the airport, they took me in a room. They took me in a room
Yes,
and all the
sir.
Moors was out there waiting on me, but they strip searched me. And they said that I had residue from, what was that?
Gunpowder.
No,
Explosive.
explosive. They said I had some explosive on my hand, but what took place was when they stopped us coming out of the airport, coming out of the hotel that morning on our way back to the airport, the police got on the phone, said they're on their way now. So we got to the airport, they did that, boy. But the reason why I said that is we have two flags. And I want to explain something, because a lot of people don't understand this. From now on, when somebody say Assalamu alaikum to me, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, Como está usted? And the reason why I'm going to say, Como está usted, because you ain't going to say Islam to me anyway. The only thing you will say is Assalamu alaikum. And I say Islam to you, you ain't going to honor it. But Noble Ali told the Moors that if there was a second language that we should learn, it should be Spanish. Now,
Yes,
Noble
sir.
Ali told the Moors, do not let foreign Muslims on your roster. And the reason why he said that, because you don't know if they with Bin Laden or who they with. And if they with Bin Laden, just like my daughter's mother. She was in the Pentagon when Bin Laden and them blew it up. And if I could have caught Bin Laden and all his buddies, I would have whipped all of them. Because that was Gina that you bombed the Pentagon with. And that's my daughter's mother. So Noble Drew Ali gave us some signs. And what you need to know, America, is that we honor the American flag.
Islam.
We
Yes,
are
sir.
citizens of this government.
Islam.
Yes, sir.
See, we know this is the great melting pot of
Islam.
many different nationalities. So we honor this government. Our people is here. We
Yes,
as
sir.
Moorish Americans are not the ones that can blow up anything.
No, sir.
Because this is our home. We built this.
Islam.
The Dred Scott decision of 1857 said that the word all men are created equal
Yes,
never meant
sir.
to apply to the so-called Negro, colored, and black.
Islam.
So as Moorish Americans,
Teach.
as Moorish American Muslims, we are not at war with America. We are at war with sin and crime.
Yes,
We
sir.
have a lesson called the prevention of sin and crime. Our national security force, that's our model, prevention of sin and crime. Now let me stop for a second, because there's one of my leaders. See, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that are my leaders. You know, I remember there was a brother, Honesty Bay. I wear a lieutenant colonel bag, but Honesty Bay wore a star. He was a general. I didn't make it to the general, but I'm almost there. So you got a lot of, Austin Bay is a one-star general, three-star general. I'm just a, you know, so we have a lot of brothers and sisters. But there's a brother, Benson Hill. Him and Grand Sheik Stocks Bay. Now when that thing took place with Pleasant Bay in Lawton, Virginia, Stocks Bay is the one that had to get on the news. And when Stocks Bay got on the news, he let them know that certain practices of certain Moorish Americans was diametrically opposed to what Drew Ali said. But Benson Hill told me this morning, because he was kind of paralyzed. And I called him, tell him we got to run 7 miles because he's still on the National Security Force. So we got to run 7 miles to qualify. So all that stuff about him being in the hospital, you know, he got to get rid of that. But he told me that they just got back from Morocco. He said him and Stocks Bay went to Morocco. Fez, Murky. He said when they got there, the guide said, look, I want to take you sheiks of Moorish descent somewhere. So he said they took them off and took them to a masjid in Morocco. And he said when they went to the masjid, they looked inside and all they seen was brothers and sisters that was deformed. Brothers and sisters that couldn't walk. Brothers and sisters that was on canes. See? That is what they showed them sheiks when they went to Morocco. I could understand that. Because when you show Washington, D.C., all you see is the White House, the Capitol, but you get a block away from the White House, they got buildings boarded up. They got buildings boarded up and people sleeping on the street. And that's Washington, D.C. So they show you, just like in Africa. When they show us Africa, they show the bush and the jungle where brothers and sisters run around. They start looking crazy, not knowing that we gave the world civilization. We built this.
Islam.
Yes, sir.
But Kenya Harris Bay, see, you know, we can really put a calendar. I'm going to show you some pictures of Sister Christina Price Bay and a lot of different. I remember Brother Barker Bay, the Grand Mufti. I remember he told me that he remember when he used to go in the park with the prophet, when the prophet Marcus Garvey used to talk. You know, so we ain't that far from it. And Noble Drew Ali said, one prophet, one nation, and one temple. And it ain't gonna be but that, more. It ain't gonna be but one that, and we are working on that now. Look at that picture right there. That's Grand Sheik Kenyu Bay. And with me is our two little sisters. You know, Lot had two daughters. And they say Lot went into his two daughters and impregnated them. In Chicago, them little sisters got pregnated. They got their minds pregnated with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They got their nationality card. There is our future. There is our mark. That's what we live for. Drew Ali said he come for the young and yet born. He said the old could follow if they want. And look at that. He come for the young and yet born. So I think over Drew Ali for that. Can you, babe? We honor you, more. More, I remember that we walked in the parade, the Bob Billups parade. And the day that Saunders Bay and had to get out the Rolls Royce because they had stopped running. And Allah said, get out there and walk with Kenyu Bay and her and this Bay and them. So they had to get out the car. And we were saying one day that we're going to unite and do some work and bringing this movement back under one head like the prophet left it. But you know what, Sheik? You know what, Sheik Kenyu Bay? If they don't want to come, we ain't worrying about them because this flag. This flag that we have on represents gravity. And we're going to draw all men unto us by doing the work. And that businessman you got up there, Mo, I told him I heard he played baseball. And that Sheikah we got, Sheikah L. Officer Bay, man, well, once they come together, and once we get our other stuff together, more, Drew Ali said we just plain rich. He said, y'all just plain rich. And we in heaven because the law gave us 3 of them. So Morris could be all right, Sheikah Harris Bay. You're doing a great work, Mo. You know, we sat in the temple years ago together talking about these days. I've seen it in your spirit, Mo. Mo, we're going to do this work, Mo. But the key is this. The things of the world can't have no rule over us.
No.
See, we got to be in this world,
Islam.
but not of this world.
Yes, sir.
We got to get in these communities. As we start next weekend, we going out into the community, and we can just try to talk to somebody. Because if you could just help somebody, you've done a good work. And this is what the prophet taught us. So now, chapter 13. Chapter 13. Let's get into chapter 13 there because we already talked about our trip in Chicago. So now, let's get some spiritual enlightenment because we all need it in our life.
Islam.
You know, a lot of times we'll talk, the prophet said, go within. How do you go within? What do you go within with? Well, let's go within with truth right now because that's your second principle. And when you go within, you ask yourself some questions. See, and you ask yourself, what do I need to overcome? I just heard Sister Mason Bay. Sister Mason Bay said she used to smoke cigarettes and she's trying to stop. And she said what she going to use is the axe. She said she going to use the axe to cut away the knotty, unuseless, and ungainly parts to make the character symmetrical. So I'm going to be right there with you when you do that, sister. We're going to do it together. But you know the best part about it? You recognize it. See, a lot of us don't recognize the thing that we have to overcome. And until we recognize the thing that we're going to have to overcome, we ain't going to overcome it.
Yes, sir.
See? And we got to understand there's different spirits. This one Noble Drew Ali taught us. Oh, what? There we is again. That's outside. That's in Chicago. South side Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just see them pictures more. I just get to run in my mouth
telling
about it. Because, you know, it wasn't just a picture. I was
Beautiful
there.
thing,
I was
yes.
And you know another thing. When we was in Chicago, and when we came back, we were telling people that we was in Chicago. And all the people, I never go to Chicago. I don't like, you know, that's where you need to be at. So if you're conscious, because that's where your people are. That's where your people are. And we got 1 million of them there.
I'm telling you.
And if our people there, we got to raise our people up. You know, the things that we go through as a people, you know, oh, he ain't no ghetto. And we got to work with our brother. Look at yourself.
That's right.
When you see not thyself, then others discover you more plainer.
Islam.
You know, I know what's inside of me. And I know things have to come in me and some things have to get out of me. But if you try, see, if you try, because so many of us don't even try. Oh, that's our chairman. That's our, oh, see, that's Brother Amelia Hill's grandson. That's Brother Belly Hills and Sheikah's Austin Bay. See, them old timers. Everybody hasn't heard about thus far. Oh, man, that's me right there. See, I'm up on the pole representing Portland. I'm right there at this grave site representing Portland. See, it's not, it's a, we rep, look at it, look at our sister. Look at the sister there. There's Sister Mason Bay. That's the unification, that's the marriage we was at. See, Kenyu Bay and Saunders Bay just got married. Look at our babies with the first convention. See, look at them. In Chicago, Illinois. Look at them, Grand Sheikas, Sister Grand Sheikas, our businessman. Oh man, that's beautiful. See, so that's the meeting that we had in Chicago. And that's the grave site again. And that's the Moors. See?
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, look at the babies there. Wow. Man, that's beautiful. Look at the muftis down there. That's the mufti. See? Yeah, that's our mufti staff. Yeah. Grand Sheik even had his mufti uniform. I got mine on today. Yeah, he told me I could wear it. Yeah. Oh, that's me outside the store, see? Talking to the brother. Oh man. Yeah, so more, you know, we had a good time.
We did.
We had an opportunity to sit down and talk about some things. The Moors here who had some questions and things that they needed to ask after the meeting, you know, because we had asked each other not to do that. They did that, and we come along right well. You see the sister there? That's our sister. That's our sister that's here, the business manager, and she right there. Yeah, that's the count. That's what was that? The whatever that was. It was something that I was sitting on. It was an honor. That's our chairman that was here. That's Austin Bay again. She was married to Dr. R. German Bay, and that's Brother Belly Hill. He's been around in the 40s. And Mo, we just had a good time. We were on the street. Mo, look at it. Mo just talking and talking. And we're enjoying ourselves. And we were talking about building the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's what we're talking about. Nothing else but building the Prophet's Temple. And I'm kind of honored because Sister Mason Bay and the children and Sister Edwardsville and some more sisters that come out through the temple, there's some things that they could do here from a sister's perspective. You know, we're in, such as fish fries and things that will build some finance because we're trying to get a building. We're trying to get a building so we can keep it open 24 hours a day. And we keep it open 24 hours a day. You can come by and take a bath if you need to. You can come by and get you some coffee. You can come by and watch some movies and learn the truth about yourself. So we're going to open it up to the public, not about us. Some things that we're working on. But what we need to do here in Portland, Oregon is proclaim your nationality. Everybody having, they're not just talking about dogs having that, they even talking about the cakes now. Like devil food cake and this kind of cake and that kind of cake, German chocolate cake. So they talking about even cakes having nationality. You know, so dogs have papers.
Yes,
sir.
And you and I don't. We don't have papers because, matter of fact, we took on a name that was given to us during the advent of slavery. And Chief Justice Roger B. Taylor said all words men created equal never meant to apply to the so-called Negro, colored, and black. Because the Negro, colored, and black is an inferior class of being, not as good as the European, and we don't think so. Now, I was looking at a wheel, and on this wheel is Drew Ali. But you know what? No, Drew Ali ain't on the wheel, only one on the wheel. C. Kirkland Bay, Millie Hill, all the brothers and sisters that done anything good is on that wheel. So when a person thinks that they're the only one gonna get on the wheel, then you got another thought coming. Because you can't be that judge anyway. You don't do the judging, Allah do the judging. See, Allah is greater than you and me. Don't think that you Allah. Now Allah lives in you, but there's a creator that's greater than you and me. And when you put yourself in a position that you allow, just like they say Jesus is God. Come on, man. If Jesus is God, then before Jesus was born, did God exist?
Of course he did.
If Jesus is God, Then before Jesus was born of virgin birth, then that means God didn't exist. I know the Lord was here. I know the Lord was here before Jesus because King David and Solomon tells us that.
Islam.
I said the other day and I'm going to say it again. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. What Lord? The Lord is my light and my salvation. What Lord? See, Lord, man is the Lord of the plane of things made manifest. We all are lords. In certain schools that we are in, we call each other Lord. Because once you master certain things, you become Lord of that. Because Lord is the ruler.
Islam.
And here in the Moorish temple, the way that you overcome things, you have to fight it. You have to fight the power that be.
Yes,
And a
sir.
lot of times we think we're in our lower self and we're in our higher self. And sometimes we think we're in our higher self, we're in our lower self. So now we got to ask ourselves, what self are we being? Because
Islam.
Noble Drew Ali told us we have a higher self and a lower self. And sometimes I might think I'm doing the right thing and I'm in my lower self. But what makes my lower self is my thought pattern.
Right.
I was telling my psychologist the other day, I said, you know what, man? I said, eventually, I'm going to get out of this situation that I'm in because Drew Ali told me that thought is the cause of it all.
Islam.
Man, the European came back and told me, he said, you know what? He said, you're right, and we teach that. He said, but thoughts are not you. So I didn't say nothing about him because some thoughts are me. When I'm in my higher self and I'm thinking in my higher self, that's me. But the thoughts that are not me is the thoughts that bring unrest, misery, and death. They give apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell, but they cause the full of bitterness and gall. So here in the Moorish Science Temple, what we teach is nationality and divine creed. When you teach divine creed, you teach to learn to love instead of hate.
Yes, sir.
See, this is what Noble Drew Ali tells us. He tells the Moors to learn to love instead of hate. Now, at 63 years old, Allah to put some things in our path that's going to help for the growth and the development of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Because a lot of people just sitting on the side and watching freedom come in. But see, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that we're going to need 16 secretaries. So being that he said that, and I see the Spirit working, when he said the movement will go so low you think it vanished from the face of the earth and look up and see nothing but turban and fez, that time
Islam.
is upon us
That's now.
now.
Islam.
The Spirit of the prophet is working. And all you have to do is watch his prophets.
Islam.
Because see, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, I could do more for you in the spirit than in the flesh. That's why when the Moors went through the cemetery the other day, they felt the spirit
Islam.
of the
Sir.
prophet.
Yes,
I remember years ago, Sheikh Pray for the Ill, Clarence Pray for the Ill. He have a grand sheik of his temple in Milton Avenue. And when we went to the grave site, he fell out more. The spirit was so great upon him. The Mo fell out and the ambulance got there in 2 minutes. So when people go through that grave site and they got the spirit of the prophet in them, some things going to transpire in their life if their mind is right. See, we talking about the mind. And when you say mind, the mind is within. When Noble Drew Ali went to the sheiks of Arabia and said, give me back what's mine, they thought he was talking about something tangible, and he was talking about the mind of the people. Just like one of the brothers, the last, we had question and answer in Chicago. And the last question that they say they were asked, a young brother stood up and was talking about Islam and Islamism. You know, and Drew Ali said Islamism is our religion because it's the practice and the study. Now, in the days of Prophet Muhammad, they went around with the sword and said, Ilaha Muhammad al-Rasulullah, telling you that you got to bear witness that there's no God but Allah. Muhammad is the last and the seal of the prophet. You don't, you get your head cut off. So everybody said, Ilaha Rasulullah, Ilaha Muhammad al-Rasulullah. But in the Moorish Science Temple, it's a difference. There's no compulsion in the Moorish Science Temple. So in the Moorish Science Temple of America, you don't have to learn your divine constitution and bylaw. You don't have to learn your additional laws. You don't have to learn your questionnaire. But if you want to move about in the movement, you're going to have to learn it. But we ain't going to press that upon you because there's no compulsion. But once you proclaim that you're a part of this, then there's certain things that you got to look up to and answer to, because then you become a member. Let me case in point. I was talking to the chairman, good brother up here. I like his mindset. That Chicago did some powerful stuff to this brother. And the brother, you should have heard him Friday in the temple. Man, you wouldn't even know it was him. This brother now is off the hook. You know, and I thank Allah for him.
Islam.
You know, I thank Allah for him because he could think. He one of the best brothers other than Navi that's in the Moorish Science Temple that I met here in Portland. I'm talking about from a brother perspective. I ain't talking about the sisters, because I'm let the sisters deal with that. But that brother, Johnson Bay, I ain't met nobody like him in Portland that's Moorish American other than Navi. And this brother, he's good. And we talk about some things that's going on. And the chairman, we need him for the growth and the development of the movement because he's the spokesman of the group.
Islam.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
so, and the Moors touch each one of y'all spirits, and every time I talk to them, they call y'all name out one by one. And the reason why I'm happy about that is because you're part of the family. See? And it's a Moorish family that's all over, and you brothers and sisters is a part of it.
Islam.
You know, but I had a thought that I was talking about the chairman. You know, because some things that he and I was talking about. But he has a mother-in-law that has a church. And I do know that we're in the process of trying to have some fish fries and things with the church that you was a part of. And that because we have to reach out into the community.
Yes. Islam.
You know,
Islam.
and we need the help of the young Moors that's here.
Islam.
And one thing I like about him, and one day he's going to be a good sheik because he listens, and you know how to humble himself. And, you know, the prophet said when you study yourself, you study them. And when somebody, in this chapter we got, the only way you can gain these heights, you got to learn how to humble yourself.
Islam.
You know, and if we don't learn how to humble ourselves to one another, we will never get nowhere. Never get nowhere. But sister, this is the foundation here.
It is.
Y'all brand new here. This thing is off the hook. And I'm just so honored and happy.
Well, Governor, I just like to tell the Moors, before you do anything, just reach back and get in touch with your ancestors. That's all I ask you to do. If you can reach back and get in touch with your ancestors, they'll tell you the rest. It's so many things out here that we've done it's us. But you think we got to get the recognition from the people that we should? No, we're not. Don't look for it. Try to be what you were then, what your ancestors were, you are now, but you don't see it. Wake up, believe in yourself, because you can do it. My Moors, I know you can do it. And if you come together, it'll be an awakening. To talk about the quickening, the world will see it. Get right, Moors.
Hey, Sheikah. Wait a minute. Sheikah. The prophet. Praise Allah, more. Praise Allah. Thank you, sister. I want to share this before I close out. You know, Drew Ali said, prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. And they have a lesson, one of the lessons that we teach is I am not no stranger now. I've been introduced to the Father and the Son. When you look at the Moorish America, we all are of the same blood. We are all of the same bloodline. When you talk about the house of David,